Our first contestant is the most shapest dressed candidate here. He runs a company called Warhorse and their customers are school students. You ask them what they do. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for a dynamic, passionate Sidhaanth.
So I distinctly remember my friend Badri walking up to the teacher in 5th standard and going, "Ma'am, toilet ma'am." And the teacher was like, "No, Badri, go back to your place." And then 5 minutes later, I walked up to the teacher and said, "Ma'am, may I please visit the restroom, please?" And she's like, "Please, Sidhaanth, go ahead, go ahead." The reason we both did that exercise was the same. We wanted to bunk class and run around the field. But the way we said it was far more different. So I'm here to tell you, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Human communication is extremely complex. Anybody who has a girlfriend will agree with me. Because when you tell her that I'm going out with my friends, she will say, "Okay, full stop," and you know there is far more to that communication than there is to that the eye means. Aristotle once said that humans are political animals. That means we like talking, we enjoy conversation. And most of our lives we end up talking, and our lives are dependent on our interactions with other people. 85% of your financial success depends on what? Take a guess. Some would say technical ability. That's how Bill Gates got there. Mark Zuckerberg, exactly. But 85% of your success depends on your ability to communicate. And that means that 15% of your success is based on your technical ability. Meaning that the person who can explain the program is probably going to succeed rather than the person who writes the program. And we think there is a significant problem with that. This man understood this concept like no other. He realized if you take something else and present it properly, the packaging is so important, and that is how you succeed. Steve Wozniak was the one who made the Apple computers and all the technology in it. But Steve Jobs was the one who sold it to people in the manner that he did. And this proves that communication and the way you present things is far more important sometimes than what exactly you are presenting. So now that I've talked to you about that, let's distinguish between what communication is and what speaking or giving information is. Take for instance the story where two individuals, both of the opposite sex, are walking towards the apex of a naturally occurring geographical feature with the idea of procuring the liquid form of the hydride of oxygen in a container of an unspecified size. Or I could say, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between communication and giving out information. Now, communication, it's split into how many, like a variety of things, right? So 93% of your communication is based on these three things: body language, facial expressions, tone and voice modulation. So right now, 7% of what I'm saying is what is coming out of my mouth. The rest of it is this, whether I move my hands like this, whether I stand like this, or whether I stand like this. So now let's come to intonation, right? What is voice modulation? If I say these sentences, I didn't say you were stupid, or I say I didn't say you were stupid, or I say I didn't say you were stupid. Three different meanings to three different sentences, but the exact same words. That is the importance of intonation, ladies and gentlemen. It is the varying the tone and the pitch of your voice. So apart from intonation, what else is there? Of course, your face. Like, you could be sad, you could be happy, you could be angry, and automatically it's the first thing you see about a person, and so you realize what the emotion that they're trying to convey. So right now I am smiling at you, and so you think I'm a nice person. I might want to hit you in the back of my head, but you will not know that because I'm smiling. But the problem with this and the judging people in this manner is that as the emotion that you're conveying becomes more extreme, the delineation between them becomes harder. Meaning that if I was extremely happy and extremely sad, you wouldn't tell the difference on the face. So what is it that makes the majority of the difference? Can you complete this for me? Dash speaks louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. And that is exactly what I am talking about here. Its speed of light travels faster than speed of sound. So you will see what I am doing way before then you hear what I am saying. And that is what is extremely important to understand, because the way you move your body is how you are communicating. And so I believe that it's in the power of your palms. So if I talk to you in this manner, which is an open palm position, I am suggesting to you that I'm a nice open person who is trustworthy, because I'm showing you parts of my body that are extremely vital to me, and I'm showing you that you can trust me. But if I automatically start talking to you in this manner, suddenly, even though my tone of my voice is the same, I feel more dominating. And if I start talking to you like this, then you realize that I'm being a bully or pushing you around. So this is the power of your hands. Now, why is it important to know all these things? It's because of this thing called the judgment center. As soon as I walked on stage and started talking, within 3 seconds, people decided whether they like me or not. And the problem with that is, if I have an extremely good idea, a $1 billion idea, it doesn't matter if I can't convince you people to listen to me. I can't convince you people to understand my idea and listen to me. So it's important for all of us to be inauthentic. That slide will show eventually. But the importance of inauthenticity is that even though you feel that you're not the kind of person who talks like this, you're not the kind of person who communicates to people in this manner, but it is important for you to do this, because if you don't, then people are not going to listen to you regardless of how good your idea is. And so, like I said, 85% of your success, financial success, depends on the way you communicate. They say body language is the physical manifestation of your emotions. So if I am nervous right now, I will automatically show those body language signs, which is walking around like this. This is me protecting the most vital part of my body. The evolution is what has created body language. You've been doing this since you were a Neanderthal. And so when people start doing this or start protecting their chest, these are signs of body language that show you that people are anxious and nervous. So now I am telling you that emotions play a huge part in how you behave bodily, right? Your body language is a reflection of your emotions. So is it true that if I fake the body language and I do things that are supposed to be powerful and confident, is it possible that I feel powerful and confident? Well, that's an interesting question, and that's what Amy Cuddy aimed to find out. So what Amy Cuddy did was, she asked a group of people to do two things. They enter a room and do power poses, or high power poses and low power poses. High power poses are standing like this, and essentially, as soon as you see people do this, you know that they seem like they're extremely confident. And the low power poses. And she tested their saliva after they did this and sent them into an extremely intensive interview. What happened in interview is that those people with the higher power positions got the jobs, and those people low power, they said no, unimpressive, etc., adjectives that are not good. So what she found in the saliva sample is the most interesting. She found that in the people with the high power poses, the levels of testosterone, which is your power drug, and the levels of cortisol, which is your anxiety hormone, dropped. As in high power, testosterone rises and cortisol drops. So you automatically actually feel more confident just by standing in a particular manner. That seems fascinating, doesn't it? And if you're in a low power position, cortisol increases, and so you get more nervous. So where can I use these things? In situations like this, where you're being judged by a group of people and you're nervous, where you're going to give a presentation, you're going to ask your girlfriend out, or not your girlfriend per se, or who you hope to be your girlfriend. In situations where you are going to be judged, you need to do this. But obviously you feel that this isn't me. I'm being faked. I don't do this. This is not me. This is not who I am, so I shouldn't. But Amy Cuddy said something extremely important. She says, fake it till you make it. Meaning that you keep doing these processes, which is moving your bodies in these particular manners, standing in particular positions, using your voice modulation in manners, that you keep doing it until it becomes you. And it is important for you to realize that you need to become these people, or become you doing these things. Because only then will people start recognizing you, people start listening to you. And so I have been doing this for a very long time, as in speaking in front of people. And I remember a statistic that pops in my head. They say that the most feared thing for people is public speaking. Second is death. That means for an average person, if they go to a funeral, they would rather be in the coffin than the person giving the eulogy, which is a serious problem, right? So we at Warhorse want to change that, because we believe that public speaking and communication in general is for everyone. Everyone can do this. And so, like Subhash, Like Martin Luther King, I have a dream as well. My dream is that the entire population of India, like you said, the demography of India is the youngest. So if all our young people are able to talk and communicate better, then there is no stopping us. And so that is my vision, to equip every single individual with the wherewithal to communicate better, therefore empowering them in all social and professional interactions. And that is what we believe at Warhorse. And so my vision for India 2020, my vision for India being successful, my vision for our entire country growing and reaching the heights, the dizzying heights that we want to, is the fact that every single one of us can communicate those ideas of yours to every single one of them in the world. Thank you.
And how long is this Warhorse?
We've initially started it as we have two of us started it, and we were the kinds who, it was passion, it was one of our passions, so we wanted to go and teach in schools, but it was also a reason to get out of college and do less mundane things. But as 2 years got by and we did these things, we realized the impact we could have on children, and how, I've got messages which said that you've changed my life. And that is something that you can never take away from. And so I realized that, so 2 years now, we are taking this up very seriously. This is what I plan to do in the next course of the next 2 years, wherein we teach school students, then we go to college students, then we go to corporates, and teach everybody that communication is for everybody. And everybody should be able to teach.
Do you focus on language?
Yes, ma'am. So that's an important point, right? So we start off with, so a Warhorse essentially teaches through public speaking, meaning that we believe that if you are able to speak on stage, you are able to speak anywhere. Because it's not about mugging a speech, it's about communicating and having a conversation with somebody. Because right now I'm talking to you like this, I would talk to 10,000 people like this, I talk to 100 people like this. Okay, that math went wrong. But essentially a lot of people. So we realized that it's extremely important for language to be there. But if you speak, like for example, Narendra Modi is as powerful a communicator as Barack Obama is. They use two different languages. Hitler spoke in German. I speak in English. I'm sure, and I bring out one of them and ask them to speak in Tamil, they will have an impact. So language is extremely important. Like I remember Dead Poets Society. It always comes to my mind. He at the end says, boys and girls, language is meant to woo women. Do not say very sad. Do not say morose. Do not say very tired. Say exhausted. And if you do this in Tamil, if you do this in English, if you do this in Japanese, it's going to have the same effect, because that is how our mind is programmed. And so language is important, but which language is not important at all.
Sidhaanth, you should be thankful to ICTACT for giving you a platform to sell Warhorse.
Perhaps right? That's what my intention was, sir.
So I don't know if that was the intention of making your presentation.
Yeah.
My question is, at what age group do you think an intervention need to be made so that you can mold your young India?
So that's a very good question. We believe it starts at 8, like 8th standard. 8th to 9th we have a session, and then 10, 11, 12 we have another session, because the two minds are different. In 8th and 9th you're a little more impressionable. You have not hit your adolescence where you're like, everybody is stupid, I am the awesome person there. So it's far more impressionable, and so it's easier to get through to these people and mold their minds into becoming who they want to be. Because I think if you're able to communicate, you can be whatever you want. If you're able to hit that aspect of your life, you can be an astronaut, a politician, a gymnast, anything, as long as you can talk. And so that happens in 8 to 9, and then 10, 11, 12 we have a different kind of program which deals with your psychology, and there's something called cognitive restructuring that we use to get people to get out their molds. And one of the most important things that we do at Warhorse is instill confidence into people. Like most people, like even Subhash is talking about, everybody here is talking about a simple common thing that people don't understand, especially in India, is it's fine for you to make mistakes. In India, if you make a mistake, if you fail, then you automatically think that you're a failure. But as Subhash said, every time you make a mistake, you learn and you learn and you learn, and by the 100th time, the first time I was on stage, I was like this. This is, I don't know what time of mine, and you can see the difference. So making mistakes is important, and that is also something we teach from 8th standard onwards, which in schools they don't do. In schools, they do not teach students that it's fine to make mistakes, because as soon as they make a mistake, they get reprimanded, or their marks go low, or they get parents are called, and so that is something we have to change.
You spoke about Amicali.
Yes.
Have you also read about Alan Peace?
Yes.
So what's the starting difference between these two people?
I think they profess the same ideas, sir. Most of these people who are talking about public speaking or talking about being able to communicate have the basic idea of being confident in who you are, and then moving on to using cues that we can teach you. Most people, like, I can teach you how to be more confident, how to project yourself better, and those automatically will be responded in the audios. Like, most people don't realize that if I talk to you like this is different from me talking to you like this, or me talking to you like this, or me talking to you like this. So that's a delineation that people don't realize and are never taught. And if we teach these things, and like Amy Curry and Alan does that, they do the same things with the same ideas in different manners.
First of all, there are literally a few learnings for us also from this presentation. Thanks for that.
Thank you, sir.
And it is mind-blowing. Okay. I hope at last you were able to convince your girlfriend. Good communication. Okay. So I want to be in a kind of a devil advocate. I want to put one question, and probably you may want to debate with 2 points or something. In my point of view, what I would say, English is a language, not a skill.
English is a language?
It's a language, not a skill. Can you debate?
Agreed, sir. I don't even want to debate. English is a language, not a skill. But communication is a skill. So if I'm able to communicate better, that is a skill. And like I said, it's a skill, meaning that it can be learned. It is the same as drawing. It is the same as guitar. So when I pick up a guitar right now, and I don't know how to play guitar, so I pick it up in front of all of you, and I strum that first string, and it sounds terrible. Okay, for the first 10 times it sounds terrible. I'll get scared, I sound terrible, and I'll keep the guitar away and run away from it. The same thing happens with drawing, same thing happens with communicating. So if I ask one of you to come here and start speaking just randomly impromptu, you will be terrible at it, because it's the first time you're doing it. And if you stop at that first time, you're done for, because you'll never learn how to play guitar. But if you do it 10 times, 20 times, by the 30th time, not even 30th, I would say much faster than that, you will be able to get better. People don't realize that the barrier is getting to doing things, not learning the actual process. There's this rule called the 10,000 hour rule, right? Where it says that if you do something for 10,000 hours, then you will be perfect at it. You will be the best at that thing. But that rule is, there's only so much you can take from that rule. The other rule is the 20-hour rule, which is also a TED video that you can watch, where they say that if you want to learn something, all it takes is 20 hours. Because the learning curve is like that. Yes, sir. I thought it was within the question.
Sidhaanth, I think you used your PowerPoint also very well. There was nobody to help flip through the slides. It went on and on. You timed it in such a way that you also managed between the slides. That was wonderful. I was just wondering, what is that 2 things that you would actually do in order for our youth? Let's say today we are talking about only the college students here, right? That they need to do in order to, come out of this communication barrier.
I think the first thing they need to do, regardless of whether it's communication barrier or anything in their life, is think. There's this term called self-reflexivity. Self-reflexivity means thinking about thinking. How many of you have thought about thinking? And why you think certain things? When you get angry, do you just react? Or do you think about why did I get angry? When you see somebody do better than you and you make fun of them, do you realize why you're making fun of them? It's not because they're bad. It's because you are insecure about them being better than you. And if you think about thinking, then you will come to a point of time in your life where you accept yourself for all the flaws that you have. Saying that, yes, I am not as good as him, but then once you accept that, you can get better. And that is something that you can apply to any aspect of your life, whether it's communication, whether it's math, whether it's dance, whether it's anything. So if you think, just sit down and think about why you do things, what you want, and do not be sheep. Be yourself, be you. I'm not saying be a leader either, but I'm saying be you, because there is only one opportunity you get in your lifetime to be you. I get to be Sidhaanth once.
Yeah, good Sidhaanth. I have 2 questions. One is, what is your take on this difference between a personality and a character of a person?
Okay, okay. So that I can give you with the example of Bill Clinton. So Bill Clinton is an extremely suave president of the United States of America. He won the election multiple times, but clearly his character is questionable because he had an extramarital affair. So that is the difference between personality and character. You could be like, for example, Hitler. Hitler was a fantastic personality. Like, if you gave him all the good qualities that you want in the world and asked him to profess those, the world would be a brilliant place because his personality was that powerful. He could get people behind him. He was a leader. Character is your morals and your ideals and what you profess using your personality.
Okay, so good answer. You spoke about TED Talk, right? One of the our own son of soil in Coimbatore is Mr. Arunachalam Murugananda, who's a world-known speaker, an inventor, who was part of Times 100. If you look at his TED speech, he's not great in communication, he's not great in language, but he's greatly impacting people's life and inspiring people.
Right.
So how does it happen? Is it communication and language is very important to make an impact, or the content and the conviction of a speaker is very important?
Thank you, sir. So, okay, first of all, if you're saying content and conviction, and if you say conviction, you're automatically putting into communication. Because if you have conviction, your communication gets better. So even if I wasn't as good as my language is, and I was still saying this with conviction, people still understand it. Like I said, it's not about information, it's about getting through. But you need to realize, I'm sure you will agree, sir, that is one rare case. Because not everybody gets that opportunity to listen to somebody when they don't make that strike. If I came to you, if a business plan, if I came to you and I use broken English and bad communication to pitch you an idea which is brilliant, you do not have the time in the world. There are 6 billion people on earth. You are by default indifferent to everybody around you. And so you have to be able to communicate.
Okay, good. So in communication, there is something called get to the point. What is your take on that?
So I see what you're doing there. Yes, sir, that's also extremely important, getting to the point.
So, 2 things among all this, I want your personal reflection.
Yes, sir.
One about personality grooming and over communicating.
Okay. Over communicating obviously is bad because if I keep talking clearly, I've run out of my time and they might get bored, and so obviously over communication is bad. Personality grooming, I think everybody has their own personality. All you need to do is that's why teachers are so important. Teachers are the ones who mold your future and mold you into what you become. And my teachers, I remember my terrible teachers, I remember my brilliant teachers, and I know how much of impact they had on my life. So personality grooming is like a process. At the end of the day, you get the information that you have and you make your own personality. So, thank you, sir.
Say 2 questions in 2 sentences.
All right.
Okay.
I will try.
So why did you choose youth present rather than youth talk?
To be frank, I applied to Youth Talk, but I never got a call. They told me that I'll get a call for the interview, but I never got a call.
So you didn't choose?
I didn't choose. I would go with either.
Okay.
I needed an opportunity to. It says pitch your passion. This is my passion. That everybody should be able to talk and communicate.
You said you didn't choose, right? You applied for both?
Yeah, I applied for both.
Okay. See, how far the audio-visual helps in your presentation?
It's extremely significant, sir. Picture speaks 1,000 words, clearly. So if I tell you something, it's much. That's why I make sure that my presentation also has a few words. Like if I had a lot of words on it, you won't understand. But if I have few words with distinct colors for the distinct words, your brain looks at it and automatically, subconsciously takes it into account. Like sir was giving us in training yesterday, that if you crack a joke or if you have these things, then your conscious mind looks at the color, and then the subconscious mind looks at gets the message. So it's very important, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I didn't overstay my welcome.